So welcome back to my car cave. As you can see, I got my first big order from 2022, and in front of us we have roughly 11 new F1 cars for the collection. Believe it or not, I have a couple other F1 cars that also came in a half-scale helmet, but we can talk about those another day. These are all made by a company called GP Replicas. If you're not familiar with GP Replica, I believe they started making resin models 3, maybe 4 years ago. There's not a lot on the web that you can find about them, but what I like about them is they've decided to really go and build a back catalog of all the old F1 cars, particularly Ferrari, Lotus, some of the Williams, and Brabham as well. So it's really that them along with Techno Model have really decided to go back, like I said, do these historical F1 cars. It's really got me re-energized about collecting because at this point it's only been new cars coming out from Mini Champs or Spark. There's a lot of old Ferrari F1 cars that I've always wanted to have in my collection. I think when I started collecting as a kid, I had always hoped to have the complete F1 collection. That just wasn't possible, as most of the cars kind of started with Mini Champs in '93, and then you get some World Champion cars previous to that, and then a couple of Exodo and some other companies made historically significant cars. But now you're starting to get really some of the cars that fill the gap. So I'm excited. Really, like I said, it's really re-energized my collecting. It's forced me to load up some of the cars on eBay just to make room for this new stuff, and also for me to rethink how I want to collect or what I want to collect. Always going to collect the big guy. For me, what are the historic F1 teams such as Ferrari, Williams, Lotus. They've gotten enough of a catalog that interests me. Renault is kind of the cars are super attractive to me, but not there's not a huge amount of them, so I'm kind of waiting to see where that goes. Same could be said for Ligier and even Brabham. Yeah, you can see in the background of having opened them because I'm not really sure what I'm going to do, if I'm going to keep them or not. That said, I've opened the 1986 version, so we'll see. Anyways, but super exciting. What I thought I'd do is just kind of tell you what these are, and then I think what's probably more interesting to everybody is just to look at them in detail. Okay, so I thought I'd go through each of these one by one. First up is the Brabham BT44. It's 1975, driven by Carlos Pace. Next up is the 1978 Brabham BT46, driven by Niki Lauda. This is not the fan car. This is the car after the fan car was banned, so it uses the rest of the season. I need to add the fan car to my collection. Here we have the 1983 Brabham BT52N, driven by Nelson Piquet. He would win the World Championship that year. This is neat because it's the white base with the blue highlights. I like this scheme a lot. The more common version is the blue base with the white highlights. I have to decide whether I want to keep that one since I already have the regular one for my World Championship collection. Up front we have the 1980 Ligier JS 11-15, driven by Didier Pironi. Next up is the 1980 Ferrari 126C, driven by Jody Scheckter. He was the reigning world champion at the time. This is the car used in the second half of the season, as they started out with the 312 T5, a carryover from '79, but then went on to the 126. This is the Lotus 81, also 1980, driven by Mario Andretti. Has this neat reflective side. Next up is the 1982 Lotus, driven by Nigel Mansell. This is the Lotus 91 with a Ford engine in the back. Then we have the Renault RE30B, driven by René Arnoux. Beautiful looking car. Next up again is a Nigel Mansell 1984 Lotus 95T. And down here we have the Brabham again. This is 1986, driven by Nelson Piquet. This is the BT55. Super low aerodynamic car, but not great on track despite the aerodynamic efficiencies. Just wild looking, super unique. And last in the middle we have Terry Butzen's 1990 Williams FW 13N. Beautiful livery, one of my favorite liveries of all time in Formula One, so super excited to add that to my collection and continue to build out the Williams catalog. So now that we've gone through each of them, let's go ahead and put them on the turntable and we'll take a look.